doing, everybody, and welcome to Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage. It is Friday, a fantastic Friday here in the great state of Wisconsin. Weather is slowly on the rise, right? You know, if you're here in Wisconsin right now, the weather is slowly getting better. We saw some snow earlier this week. Now they're talking about it warming up into the 50s, into the 60s. So fantastic stuff there. Fantastic stuff. I can finally start to feel like it's baseball season, right? Spring baseball is right around the corner here for high school sports. We have the Brewers in action. It's hard to think baseball's here when you're dealing with snow outside. I mean, it's hard to think. Like, I'm out there shoveling snow waiting for the Brewers to start, right? I mean, it's just not right. It's not right whatsoever. But, hey, we're getting there. We're getting closer and closer to summer here. Brewers, they're in action over the weekend here. They're going to have the Mariners coming into American Family Field over this upcoming weekend. Mariners coming to Milwaukee. They're 3-4 right now on this young season. Mariners getting off to a slower start right now, but this is still a solid team. I mean, I when I was doing my projections, I had the Mariners, sitting near the top of the AL West out there. So, I really do think this Mariners team is still sitting pretty. They had a rough go of it there with Cleveland as of late there. Cleveland got the best of them in a 3-game series, 2-1. Outside of that, they split the series with Boston to start the year there, and that's where they reside right now, is with that 3-4 record heading into Milwaukee here. So Mariners on this season so far, you're looking at the stats here for them. Ty France is leading them in average right now. He's batting .320. They have 4 guys with 1 home run apiece. A couple guys here, Crawford and Hanger. And then we're looking at stolen bases, Rodriguez with 2. Just your average beginning of the season stats. Nothing crazy there. Stat-wise for this team. The Brewers will see Gilbert in this game here, though. And Gilbert has gotten off to a pretty good start here for the Mariners. He's sitting at a 1.29 ERA there. 8 strikeouts in his 1 appearance so far this year. So Gilbert has been, through 1 start, showed some fantastic stuff there. 7 innings for him there. And I believe, I just wanted to check that out, who that was against there for Gilbert. Not exactly sure there, but solid outing in his first one for Gilbert there. For the Brewers, we're going to see Freddy Peralta. Freddy Peralta, the ace of the staff, he's back on the mound for this one here. Freddy coming into this one 1-0 with that 1.50 ERA heading into this game here with the Mariners. Brewers, they've seen Gilbert a little bit, right? We have Adames, Bowers, both of them seen him 3 times there, 3 at-bats, 2 RBIs apiece there. Adames does have a home run against him. Rhys Hoskins in 2 at-bats, he's got 4 RBIs and 1 home run. So Hoskins has seen him, and Hoskins has driven in runs. That's fantastic stuff. Sanchez, he's seen him 8 times, nothing to show for it there. Terang, 2 at-bats against him there. And then we have Yelich. He's got a home run and 2 RBIs against Gilbert in 3 at-bats. So some solid stuff there on the Brewers. They've seen Gilbert a little bit before. Looking at this Mariners team, they have guys up and down this lineup that have experienced what Freddy Peralta's got. And one of those guys being, I did not know this, but Luis Urias is out there with the Mariners right now. So, former Brewer, had some experience against Freddy, playing with him. Also now, opposing team in 2 at-bats. He's got nothing to show for it there. Rojas in 4 at-bats, nothing to show for it. Rayleigh, Polanco, nothing to show. Garver, Crawford, equally the same. The only one who's had success against Freddy Peralta in the past is Hanger, and he's got 4 RBIs, 1 home run, and 2 at-bats. So kind of similar to what Rhys Hoskins has got against Gilbert there. So not a lot of experience for this Mariners team against Freddy Peralta heading into this one. So Freddy, you take that as the upper hand, right? We haven't seen this guy yet. They got film on him, right? But they haven't seen this guy yet. It's a different story when you step into the box there. So good stuff in that first game there. 7-10 start for it tonight here for the Brewers. A night game. It's been a while. A lot of afternoon games going on for the Brewers. Haven't seen a night game. First night game for the Brewers there against the Mariners. The matchup on Saturday, that should be a good one too. Miller for the Mariners. He's 0-1 with a 7.20 ERA. He's going to be facing off with D.L. Hall. Coming into this one, he's got nothing. 0-0 there on the season, a 4.50 ERA and 1 strikeout. For the Brewers, the only guy who has faced Miller so far has been Jake Bauers. He's got 1 home run, 2 RBIs, and 3 at-bats against him there. So solid stuff out of Bauers. Nobody else in this Brewers lineup has seen Miller yet, and nobody has seen DL Hall for the Mariners. So good stuff there. That's going to be an interesting matchup right there. You have 2 younger guys squaring off there between the Mariners and the Brewers on the mound in that one. So good stuff there. That'll be a 6:10 start on Saturday. And then looking at the game on Sunday for the Brewers, that'll be an afternoon game. Afternoon game for the Brewers. 1:10 start for that one. Colin Ray coming into this one with a 1-0 record, 1.80 ERA, and 2 strikeouts on the year. He's going to face off with Hancock in that game there. 1-0 with a 5.06 ERA, 1 strikeout in his appearance. Nobody for the Brewers has had experience against Hancock. I mean, the Mariners are throwing out a relatively newer rotation there with some of these younger guys. So Brewers haven't faced this guy yet. Hancock, I mean, solid pitcher from what it looks like. Looking at his career regular season, I mean, 4 games for him only. So this is a young pitcher here for the Mariners. He's split time. He's had some time in 2021. He was at high A and then double A. And then 2022, he was at double A along with 2023. And now getting up to the big league level here in 2024. So kind of skipping around there, but this is a good pitcher here in Emerson Hancock. Looking at some of those minor stats, I mean, solid pitcher all the way around there through his minor league days. So this should be a good matchup for the Brewers going up against a younger, 24 years old Emerson Hancock. So younger starting pitcher here. Colin Ray for the Brewers. There's been some guys for the Mariners with experience. Ty France, Hanger, Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, and Luis Urias have all faced him. Not a lot of success against him, though. So Colin Ray heading into this one, I like that matchup for Ray heading into that one there. So good weekend all the way around for the Brewers there at home before they take off on a road trip there with the Reds and the Baltimore Orioles. So a tough road trip coming up for the Brewers here after they get the Mariners at home. So big weekend series for the Brewers coming up here. But with that, I mean, just looking at the MLB standings, I was just checking them out today here, seeing where everybody's kind of sitting right about now. Early season, some teams are off to a hot start. You have some of your teams that you expected to be near the top of divisions who are currently sitting near the bottom. I mean, and then you look at your teams out there who have been some surprises so far. So looking at the MLB standings at this very moment, looks like, you look at the NL Central as a whole right now. Pirates up on top there. They're 6-1 on this young season here. They have, they're looking at a plus 19 differential right now. Runs scored versus runs allowed. 49 runs scored compared to 30 runs allowed there. Solid stuff out of this Pirates team. And, the even better part, if you want to look at it from that perspective, the Pirates are starting 6-1 on the road. A road record of 6-1 to start the year. This isn't home cooking that the Pirates have going on right now. This is all road games. So pretty good stuff there. They have the Baltimore Orioles coming up next there. That will be a tough series. You're looking at I saw a score the other day of the AAA team for the Orioles, and they beat a team like 22-11. Just crazy score. But this is a very good Baltimore Orioles team. So Pittsburgh's going to have all their hands full heading into that series there. Brewers coming in second there, 4-1. We've talked about the Brewers a lot here. We know kind of what we've seen so far. Brewers right now +3 in differential. You look at the difference between the way the Pirates have started versus the way the Brewers have started. Pirates, 49 runs scored, Brewers 20. Look at the difference, runs allowed. Pirates 30, Brewers 17. That's just a crazy stat to look at there. Is the Brewers, they're not scoring a boatload, but they're holding teams, right? The Mets and now this last series here against the Twins are holding teams. So that's I just look at the stats. That's a very interesting stat there. Cubs right now, they are sitting 4-2 on the season. They are sitting at a +10 run differential right now, 40-30 there. This team is 3-0 at home and 1-2 on the road. I don't know if I count the Rockies series as a win, right? That's where they just got that sweep out of, was the Rockies there. I don't know if I count that as a win for the Cubs there. The Reds coming in fourth right now, 4-2. And then the Cardinals at 4-4 to start this season here. They're 0 on the run differential right now. 35-35 across the board there. Cardinals starting out a little, steady, right? They're 3-4 on the road on the season, and they are 1-0 at home for this young season here. They have Miami right now. The Reds are facing off with the Mets, and then the Cubs will be facing off with the Dodgers. So they're going to go from playing the Rockies to the Dodgers. Quite a jump there of skill level, if you ask me. Looking at other notables across the league here, NL East, the Braves are up top, followed by the Phillies, then the Washington Nationals, followed by the Mets and the Marlins there. Dodgers lead the NL West, followed by Arizona. Then we have San Diego, the Giants, and Colorado. Flipping over to the American League right now, we have the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Baltimore Orioles, the Rays, and Toronto. That could end up being the best division in baseball right there. I mean, those 5 teams are all teams that I could realistically see sitting above, quite a bit above 500 when it comes down to it down the stretch. So that's going to be a very good division right there. Looking at the AL Central, I mean, the Tigers are off to a fantastic start. 5-1, I believe they just lost their first game yesterday. That was to the Mets. Outside of that, Cleveland 6-2 on the season. The Twins 3-3. Kansas City 2-4, and the White Sox got to win. They're 1-4. I am pegging the White Sox to be, if not the worst team in baseball, the second to last after this next team coming up here. The Angels actually lead the AL West right now at a 4-2 record, followed by the Rangers, then the Mariners, then the Houston Astros, followed by the Oakland A's. That could be the worst team in baseball, if not the White Sox. I think it will be the A's, but I'm just telling you, that White Sox team is that bad. I really think they're that bad. The best thing they did in this offseason was they got that new milkshake, that s'more milkshake that they have at the stadium now. I would go to a game just for that. That's what people need to sit through the crap show that will be the White Sox this year. So, I mean, there's your standings right now leading up into the action of the weekend. Fantastic stuff from what we've seen so far. Not many surprises, I would say. I mean, you look at division leaders, the Pirates always seem to start out hot, right? And then you have the Brewers, the Cubs, the Cardinals at the bottom again. I mean, the Braves, you have the Dodgers, you have the Yankees. The AL Central sucks, so I mean, the Tigers doesn't surprise you. The Angels in the West, that's a little surprising right now to me, 4-2 record. But, I mean, you have the Rangers, the Mariners, who the Brewers will see here, and then the Astros, who started out rough. That 4 games got swept in 4 games by the Yankees. Now they're starting to figure it out a little bit, threw a no-hitter the other day there, and they're starting to get back to good things there. So, interesting stuff there in the MLB standings right now. But before I move on here, I want to talk about a couple of our sponsors here quick of the show. First, Game Day Supply in Onalaska. Do you have a sports club or team? Are you looking for some sweet custom uniforms or apparel? Check out the awesome crew at Game Day Supply in Onalaska to help your team get the sweetest gear. Find them on Facebook at Game Day Supply or online at GameDaySupply.net. Also, your hometown team, Century 21 Gold Key Realty. Call Peggy, Sue, or Anna to find your dream home or if you're looking to sell. Find them on Facebook at your hometown team, Century 21 Gold Key Realty, or stop in and see them at their location in Marshfield. Also, Marshfield Motor Speedways, located just 3 miles outside of Marshfield on County Road H. Stop in there during this. I mean, it's going to be summer here pretty soon, right? It's going to be summer. Stop in there, see some awesome racing, whatever it is, demolition, whatever they got going on at the track that night. Check out the schedule online. Just search Marshfield Motor Speedways or check them out on Facebook. Search Marshfield Motor Speedways. You can find the schedule. Plan some fantastic summer days and nights down at the racetrack there. So with that, I'm going to stick with the Brewers-ish, and I want to talk about a little bit of where some of the top prospects in the Brewers organization are going to start this season. So looking at the AAA level, we talked about a little bit of the minor league system the other day there. They're going to be kicking off today, actually. The AAA team was already in action, but we're going to see the high A team if they ever. I saw pictures of them shoveling the field in Appleton there for the Timber Rattlers. So I don't know if they're playing any home games anytime soon. But regardless, we're going to get some baseball here. We got Carolina Mudcats coming back. Biloxi's coming back. So looking at Nashville, some of the top prospects on that team right there, you're looking at one of the top Brewer pitching prospects in Carlos F. Rodriguez, also Jefferson Cuero and Tyler Black. Robert Gasser is also in there, but he is expected to start on the injured list with some bone spurs. So he's diagnosed with bone spurs. Not sure on the timeline of Robert Gasser right now. And then looking at Cuero too, he had a shoulder injury diving back into first base. No timetable for his return also. So not good news there for two of the top end prospects for the Brewers there, starting at the AAA level, and not good news because I thought Robert Gasser would be one of the first ones we'd probably see at the big league level at some point here. So not good stuff there on the injury front, but lots of good baseball happening in AAA there. Looking at Biloxi, the AA team, there's a lot of them having in there. We're looking at Bradley Blake, looking at Jacob Mizorowski, Wes Clark, who we saw in spring training. Wes Clark was lighting it up, home run after home run. We have Eric Brown Jr., a top shortstop prospect for the Brewers. Brock Wilken, a fantastic third baseman. I believe he can also play first base there a little bit. And then we also have Xavier Warren, who is a former top 30 prospect of the Brewers, first baseman, and Freddie Zamora there. Other guys that you're looking at down at that level there, Sam Carlson, TJ Shook, Russell Smith, and Tyler Wosener, a fantastic pitcher for the Brewers. So a lot of good stuff there, a lot of good prospects. If you get down and you are able to get to a AA Biloxi game for the Brewers, you will see some of the better prospects in the Brewers system right there, because that's some good stuff. That's some good stuff right there. A lot of electric prospects. Looking at the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. Now, if you're in Wisconsin and you want to get to watch some fantastic baseball, this is the place you got to be. 6 of the top 30 prospects will be in Wisconsin, in Appleton there. And looking at some of the guys, you're going to see guys like Luke Adams, Yadier Arminio, Mike Bovey. If you remember Mike Bovey, he was drafted about the same time as Brock Wilken there. Dylan O'Ray, a fantastic prospect. Luis Lara, who we saw a little bit there in spring training, a fantastic outfielder. And, you listen to Pat Murphy talk about him. He said, we know it's got to happen here, but we wish we could keep this guy with the entire time because he is a fantastic player all around. Watch for Luis Lara to be that next Jackson Churro for the Brewers. This guy's got all the tools. He's got all the stuff. I'm telling you, watch out for Luis Lara. And then looking at another guy, Patricio Aquino, a pitcher for the Timber Rattlers there. So good stuff there. Looking at Bovey and Lara, both were with the Timber Rattlers a little bit last year, but they're back for the start of this year. Don't know if they'll get moved up to the AA level. I assume they will be up there at some point this year, but starting at this high A. So get to some Timber Rattler games early on this season. Looking at last but not least here, we have the Carolina Mudcats. Right now, looking at Carolina, you're going to see Josh Noth, who was the 33rd overall pick there for the Brewers in this last draft. Also looking at Cooper Pratt, another great pick in this last draft here, infielder. And then Yofri Rodriguez, an outfielder, will also be down there. Looking at the top 30 prospects, the only one that will be starting at the high A or the low A, besides those couple guys, is Daniel Guillarte. Will be down there too to start the year. So a lot of good stuff there with Brewers minor league system, where they're starting, everything like that. Keep an eye on these guys. I'm telling you, I'm looking at guys, you want to go as low as high A right now. I'm looking at Mike Bovey, maybe a guy like Dylan O'Ray, and Luis Lara to potentially be up in the AA level at some point here. Wes Clark, I believe he's going to climb to the rankings. We saw that guy raking in the spring ball there. I expect to see Wes Clark up. Jacob Mizorowski, we know all about him. Dude's got electric stuff. I expect to see Jacob Mizorowski up at some point there. Brock Wilken, another fantastic prospect for the Brewers there. Third base, this guy is going to be climbing through the rankings here. So, you're looking at the AA level and saying, I can see a lot of these guys at AAA very fast. At the AAA level, if the Brewers need starting pitching, maybe they jump on a guy like Carlos F. Rodriguez, but I really do expect to see Tyler Black at some point here I don't think it'll be early on in the year for the Brewers, but barring injury or somebody starts to struggle, Tyler Black will get a call up to the Brewers at some point there. So good stuff there. Minor League Baseball officially opens up this weekend with AA, high A, single A, that kind of stuff there. We already saw AAA start. We'll get more into the minor league system next week on Fresh on the Farm Report there. But with that, we are going to flip script here. We're going to go from baseball. We got to flip it to the hardwood here. We're going to talk a little bit of Bucks, and then we got some Final Four action. We got everything to talk about today. So right away, I'm looking at this Bucks team. A couple of big games coming up this weekend for the Bucks, especially after a bad couple games here they've had against the Wizards and the Grizzlies last night there. So looking at this Bucks team, first up, they got the Raptors. That'll be coming up tonight here. That'll be from the Pfizer. They got a little bit of home cooking going on here to end it. Looking at this game against the Raptors, I mean, they're led by Scotty Barnes, 19 points a game there. Rebounds, Poletti, he's got 8.6, and then assists. Scotty Barnes leads him in assists there. Injury report right now for the Bucks, I mean, we're not even sure. Damian Lillard, game time decision. Pat Bev, Giannis, all game time decisions. We don't know what we're going to get at Chris Middleton there. All game time decisions basically for the Bucks right now. Looking at the Raptors, they have lost their last 5. The Bucks, they're 1-4 in their last 5. So pretty equal with this last stretch that they had here. And I'm looking at this game, Bucks at home. You look at the season series against them. They only played 3 against the Raptors. First game of the year, they lost 130 to 111. They bounced back in that game 2 of the series there, 128 to 112. You never know what's going to happen here. I mean, you would think Bucks at home, that adds a little bit of better. On the road, the Bucks have stunk. At home, the Bucks have been pretty good this year. Then they go out and they lose to the Grizzlies on home court. And it's like, what? What now? I mean, what can go wrong now for this Bucks team? And, I mean, this is a game the Bucks got to have it. They got to have. I don't care if you have only Giannis out there, no Dame. If you have Giannis, if you have the rest of these cast out there, they got to find a way to get this thing done. Because who knows with Dame right now? And if you're not going to get Dame back for an extended period here, you got to get the rest of this team right. Because I tell you what, I get it. If the Bucks looked like they were playing their best basketball and they were losing games and it was like, oh, well, if we would have just had Dame, different story. Different story all the way around. But right now I'm watching this Bucks team, and I mean, does Dame really affect the effort that these Bucks give? I mean, I'll be honest with you. People don't look at that factor of it. They say, oh, well, the diehards, right? They're going to tell you all about how the Bucks are fine and the effort's fine and everything else in between. You tell me that this Bucks team is giving complete effort every time, right? I mean, I love listening to the Bill Michaels show on the radio, and Bill was talking about it. And that really sparked my interest because he said something. He said, if you watch the Bucks and you really watch them and you watch a shot go up, watch the rest of the guys. And I was like, what's he talking about? He said it a couple times. And I finally, for the last couple games, I've watched what he was saying there. Shot goes up, everybody's taking off the opposite direction. No rebounding, no getting after the basketball, no second chance points. And then, to top it all off, they shoot, they don't get back. That's the thing, because you watch that Wizards game, they got cooked multiple times. All 5 guys were going back, but one Wizard got behind them, and it was donezo. Game over. And I was like, effort. It's the effort thing that the Bucks are missing. Why? They can't do the little things. We expect this Bucks team to be able to do the big things. When they can't do the little things right? Rebounding, getting after the boards, the simple things throughout a game there. The smart IQ basketball plays. When the Bucks can't do that, how can I expect them to go above and beyond? And I watch Giannis, I believe Giannis is giving me everything he's got. And at times, I believe Brook Lopez is giving me everything he's got. Brook Lopez is just getting older. He's getting slower, that kind of deal. So I don't think that the Bucks are completely out of it. I don't think that they're just completely suck. But what I'm saying is that there's the little things for this Bucks team right now that I feel like they're lacking, if you ask me. And Does that change? We're in a home stretch now. You have a stretch of home games here where you can flip the switch. That's the thing, is everybody tells me we're not going to worry about it because they'll turn it on in the playoffs. How easy is it to just flip a switch? I mean, truthfully, yeah, these are some of the best basketball players in the world, right? And you would expect them to be able to just flip this switch, this magical switch. That's not how it works. Did you ever see MJ take a day off? I mean, we're talking about the greatest basketball player of all time. The greatest basketball player of all time. Played in the league when defense was a top priority. Offense was still there, but defense was a top priority. And this guy's winning all defensive MVPs. He's winning the scoring. He's winning MVPs. He's winning the finals. He's doing this. He's doing that. But the guy never took a day off. The switch never got turned off. And I truthfully don't believe that you can just say to yourself, I'm going to flip this switch on and it's just going to magically happen. No way. It doesn't work like that. So when I watch this Bucks team, and I get all these Buck fans in my ears saying, well, they'll just turn it on. They'll just turn it on when we get to the playoff. Are you kidding me? You can't just turn it on, right? You have to, when you go through a season, you might be able to take a playoff, right? You might be able to sit a game out, right? That's fine. That's fine and dandy. This load management crapola that we've gotten over the years. Trust me, I get it. But what I'm saying is that the switch doesn't magically happen. You cannot just magically walk in and say, boom, it's on, right? It's the pieces. It's the building up to that moment, right? I'm an electrician by trade, right? So I know for a fact that I cannot just put a switch into the wall, turn it on, and the light's going to turn on above my head, right? It's the pieces that you put into it. The slow and steady process that you work on all day, right? We'll compare it to all season. You build this thing up, so when you get to the playoffs, that switch is already ready to go. You flip it on, the light's on, you're ready to rock, right? This Bucks team it's a roller coaster that it's like the wire got there, and then we decided to move the switch. And then the wire got there, we decided, that kind of dealio right now. I don't like what I'm seeing with the Bucks, simply because I don't know what they're building towards, right? Your season's about building towards something. Right now, we're building for a first-round loss. We're building for, will we win a game at home? Will we win a game in that first series, or will we get bounced by the Heat? Will we get bounced by the Sixers? That's my biggest thing right now. I have to see it. I mean, we have a week left of NBA, week and a half. There's 6 games left. How does this Bucks team play in those 6 games? That's going to be my biggest watch to see what I think this Bucks team can do moving forward and moving into the playoffs here. So, Bucks Raptors coming up tonight here. I got to see something. I don't care if Dame's out there. I don't care if Middleton's out there. I got to see something from this Bucks team to say to myself, it was just the Raptors, but they did this well. They went after the offensive glass. They got back on defense. They gave effort, right? Because take another quote from the great Bill Michaels off the radio there. They're lazy. 100% agree with him when he said they were lazy. This team is lazy. How do you fix that? Effort. Giving effort, right? If they can't figure out that simple thing, how are you going to figure out the Celtics? How are you going to figure out the 76ers with a healthy Joel Embiid? How are you going to figure out the Knicks when they get Brunson and Julius Randle back, and now they got Anunoby? How are you going to figure out even a team like the Miami Heat, who always seem to figure it out in the playoffs? That's my biggest question. So starting with the Raptors here, and then, like I was just talking there, you got a big matchup coming up Sunday against the Knicks. And you're talking about a team who Julius Randle currently, he is out. I believe now I'm seeing a report. It was reported, yesterday there. Julius Randle is going to undergo season-ending surgery on his right shoulder. So, son of a gun. That's sad. I mean, we're not supposed to care that much because it's not like Giannis, but I mean, sad to see a great season by Julius Randle kind of go to the wayside there. He was averaging about 24 a game right there and 9 rebounds. So, Tough to see. For Julius Randle, looking at Anunoby, he's out for that game too. So the Bucks, Jalen Brunson will be out there for the Knicks. This is still going to be a competitive team in the Knicks. So you're looking at a game where you have the Raptors coming up Friday. You got the Knicks coming up on Sunday. These are two games where you got to figure it out if you are in Milwaukee. So Bucks, Knicks Sunday, and then you have Bucks Raptors tonight here. Bucks got to get right. They got to get right on this stretch because then you have the Magic, you have the Celtics, then you have the Magic, then the Thunder, and then the Magic one more time, and that wraps up the season before the playoffs. So we got to see something out of the Bucks here coming up over this next weekend here. Hopefully, we are talking about some good stuff come here on Monday. But with that, I want to mention a couple more of our sponsors here quick before we move on. First, Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. If you've been injured lately, whether it was on the court, on the field, whether it was shoveling snow, whatever you want to say there, and you need some physical therapy, get yourself into Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. See Chad. He'll get you right. He'll get you back to work, back on the field, back on the court, whatever it is. He'll get you back there. Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. Also, Sports Scene Sports Cards and Memorabilia, located in the Marshfield Mall in Marshfield, Wisconsin. Get down there for all your sporting cards, memorabilia, jerseys, model stock cards, whatever you need. They got it all. Talk to Al down there. He's a genius when it comes to cards and everything else. He'll get you what you're looking for. Sports Scene in Marshfield, Wisconsin. Also, Pittsville Farm and Home Center. At the store, they serve you anything from hydraulic hoses to red roses. Stop in and see the awesome crew at Pittsville Farm and Home Center in Pittsville, Wisconsin. I got one Badger comment to make for the day. I know people are like, I don't want to talk about Badgers today, but I got one Badger comment I got to make for the day, and that is we heard from Greg Gard. And he was on 97.3 The Game, and he came out and he said, I addressed the white elephant of the portal. I said, hey, some of the guys might have other opportunities. Some of you may want to test the NBA waters and get feedback. Some of you may want to jump 2 feet into it. Assuming he was referring to AJ Store there. He said, then knowing other opportunities are going to come out there, poaching is real. We don't need to duck it. I addressed all those things. That was interesting comment right there. Basically saying like, hey, I know you guys have other offers and you might want to go somewhere else. So if you want to, we'll see you later. Like, I thought that was interesting right there from Greg Gard. Didn't really expect that one there. I mean, he's right. He's right in saying that, like, you look at guys like AJ Story, but was that almost the like, I want some of you guys to hit the portal? Like, we don't have room for you anymore? Because we saw guys like Hurdle, I believe. Hurdle was in there. Ross Caliendo. We're talking about Gus Yeldon, AJ Storr, Connor Essegian. All guys who have now jumped into the portal that basically said, like, hey, some of you, I don't got spots for you. Some of you guys, like, you might want to just get the heck out of here. Like, well, that kind of dealio there. So I thought that was an interesting comment right there from Greg Gard. And then you look at the rest of it. He said, I think in every case is different. Every player is different. A lot of players have agents now. They have representation in terms of NIL. For AJ, it was a business decision, which I'm completely supportive of. He wants to chase NBA dreams. I want players who want to chase NBA dreams. He's going to test that water and run as far as he can. Then there's also the business decision to make in the portal. For him, he's in a category where those numbers are real. That's just the business we're in right now. For him, he's got to decide what's the best option for him, and the business part that weighs into it more than it did 3 years ago, let alone 5 to 10 years. That's interesting. Basically saying, like, AJ, I'm all good with you heading out the door. Like, I know there's better places for you. So, to me, does that say that Greg Gard believed that AJ Storr was better off somewhere else? Or does that tell me that Greg Gard is saying, like, hey, I know there's better opportunities for you at somewhere else, some other university, maybe test out those places, right? But you're talking about universities in the likes of, let's just say, Illinois, right? That's your rival. That's a rival in the Big Ten there. So I don't know. I mean, I get it. I'm all for the supportive look that Gard was given in that aspect. Not a fan of the way that I don't know. Maybe I'm interpreting it the wrong way, but I'm seeing it as him saying, I get it, for the simple fact of you want to go somewhere else where you can get more money. You might be able to be more competitive, whatever it is. I don't know, but definitely interesting stuff there on those comments. And then looking at the move of Dean Oliver there, Greg Gard said, it was my decision to make the change on the staff and move forward. Coach Oliver did a great job for us, but I have to continue to move forward and push things forward. This is not going to stay in maintenance mode. We're going to keep getting better and push it. And you have to today, in today's world with the portal and NIL, the landscape of college basketball has changed so much so fast that if you don't change, stay with it, you're going to get buried. I want to make sure we continue to be on the cutting edge of what we're doing. So he's telling me Dean Oliver was what was holding him back. Dean Oliver was what was holding the University of Wisconsin back. That's what he's telling me from that, is that Dean Oliver wasn't getting it done. Like, I maybe, right? We don't know about the locker room. We don't know what Dean Oliver was saying behind closed doors. But there again, it's like, you're telling me that Dean Oliver was the problem? I don't know about that one. That's definitely an interesting take there. If you want to bring in somebody else who maybe is going to be a better recruiter, better at this, better at that, sure. Better on making offensive schemes. I mean, Kirk Penny is already doing that for you, so maybe it's a defensive guy. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. So definitely interesting stuff there out of Greg Gard talking about Dean Oliver stuff there. I mean, take it for what you guys think too. I mean, you guys can go online, read the comments yourself, see what you guys think about that. But that's kind of where I was leaning when I was looking at that whole thing. Was just, I mean, interesting stuff coming out of Greg Gard and out of his perspective on the moves that the Badgers have made over the last couple of days here. So with that, I want to get into a little bit of looking at the bracket right now. NCAA men's bracket. Looking at the games that have happened here, or the games that are going to be happening over the weekend here on Saturday, we got UConn and Alabama and NC State and Purdue. I'm looking at UConn and Alabama, and I'm saying to myself, that could be the best game. I got to say that could be the best game of the tournament right there. I mean, we've seen some dandies. We've seen some pretty good games, but I really do think UConn and Alabama could be the best game of them all right there. That will be a fantastic, I mean, out of all the teams left, I think Alabama might have the best shot to beat UConn, just because I believe they can outshoot UConn. They can get hot and they can shoot it with the best of them in the country. I believe Alabama might be able to win a shootout against UConn. NC State and Purdue, I mean, you're looking at a team in Purdue with Zach Edey and some pretty good guard play that can knock down shots. And then you're looking at NC State, who has been riding high ever since that ACC tournament there. That should be, I think that's going to be a good game. I just think UConn-Alabama is going to be a fantastic game. I'm going to take UConn, and I'm going to take the surprise in NC State to match up with UConn in the national championship. And then I think UConn is just going to roll it. I really do. But I'm going to take the surprise. NC State, UConn, national championship. I mean, I just feel like NC State's riding such a hot wave that I feel like they might be able to get under Zach Edey's skin there with DJ Burns if he doesn't get in foul trouble, right? We know as if you don't like Zach Edey because of the fouls that are happening there, we know what's going to happen in that aspect. So good stuff there in the men's tournament. In the women's tournament coming up this weekend here, we're going to see some good stuff. First up, we have Iowa and UConn. That is Paige Beckers versus Caitlin Clark. Fantastic stuff there coming up between those two. I am going to take... I'm going to take Iowa to win that game, and then I'm going to take South Carolina to win the game against NC State there. And I got South Carolina, Iowa National Championship. Give me Caitlin Clark. Give me Caitlin Clark to end it there. I'm going to take Iowa over South Carolina then in the championship. I mean, I can see UConn beating Iowa. Iowa's coming off of a tough game on Monday there against LSU. Now you take on a tough team in UConn on Friday, and then you go Saturday there against whoever wins that opposite game. It's going to be tough. It'll be really tough. And that is going to be a tough stretch for Iowa right there. Going through the gauntlet. LSU, UConn, and then most likely South Carolina. That is a really tough stretch right there. Can they do it? I think so. But it's going to be a tough one. That is for sure. So with that, that's about all I got for today. I mean, Brewers coming up this weekend here. Bucks in action over the weekend. Good stuff in the Final Four and the women's Final Four. So good stuff all the way around. Lots of sports going on this weekend. So sit down, kick your feet up, relax, maybe grab some cheese. I don't know. We're in the state of Wisconsin. I'm going to have me some cheese this week, and I'm going to have me some cheese right when I'm done talking to you guys here. So with that, this has been Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you guys back here on Monday. But until then, deuces.
Yeah, oh my Lord, watch me sway. Darkness falls and we all pray, hoping for the light of day. Down to the river, I have held the devil's hand, felt the weight of my own sin, burdened by the heart of man.